Okay guys, today's video, I'm just want to tell you up front, is a technical video. I say that because I'm dealing with hardware. In this case, a server blade that is used to run, will be used to run the GeyserConnect. This machine currently hosts the old GeyserConnect and a couple other things. They've been shut down for the time being. The GeyserConnect is currently running on another machine, but once I'm done with the upgrades I'm planning to do to this machine, it will be running on this server. So, that is why it's in the my GeyserConnect playlist. So what I'm doing today is I am upgrading the RAM in this thing, and I'm installing a RAID array. A RAID array is multiple hard drives that act as a single drive. The two main things that does is it can improve performance and it allows data redundancy. So if one drive fails, I can literally just pull it out, replace the drive, and put it back in without even having to shut down the server. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all these drives. Alright. Now to open this thing, there's a rotating lock on the front here. It just locks that so it can't come open accidentally. This removes the top cover. Alright. So, the RAM, or memory, is over here underneath this shroud. Yeah, they put everything together in such a way that's like, how do you take this off? There we go. So right here we have the two CPUs. You can see the bank of 16 fans. These things are loud. Here's what I'm replacing. First step, the RAM modules, or memory modules. This machine currently has 32 gigabytes. I am installing double that. So these are 8 gigabyte modules, and there's 8 of them, so 8 times 8 equals 64. And the funny thing is, even though this is a server, removal of the modules is exactly the same as a desktop PC. It's just got these little tabs on the side. Pop, pop, pop. Just kind of keeping tabs on the orientation so I know how to put the new ones in. Now, these differ from desktop RAM in a pretty critical way. They are what are known as fully buffered. Basically, there's a memory controller on each module. So the CPU, instead of directly accessing a space in RAM, it sends a request to the module, which then gives it the data from whatever space in RAM it's requesting. And to put it back in, it's just reverse of taking them out. Just line them up properly, push it until it clicks. You want to make sure that this notch is in the right position. You will damage something if you try to force it in and you have that wrong. Now, before I put this into production use, I will be running a memory check on them, just to make sure that that this new memory is going to be stable. It's a program that's actually part of the that's actually part of any Linux distribution disk. It's called memtest 86. Its sole purpose is to test and burn in RAM, make sure it's working properly. Now, next up, the drives. I'm putting in 4 of these. So that's going to be 480 times 3. Now you might be thinking, wait, you just said you're putting in 4. Why are you all multiplying by 3 instead of 4? Simple. A RAID 5 array. The way a RAID 5 array works is one drive is used for data safety. So if one drive fails, you don't lose your data. You replace the drive, and it uses the 3 remaining drives to restore the failed drive. So because of that, you only have 3 drives that are actually storing data. And these servers, I love how easy these things are designed to take apart. Everything is modular, everything just pops right out if you know what you're doing. I mean, this is the drive host controller. It's got some limited RAID functionality, but it doesn't do what I want it to do with this system. So I'm replacing this basic controller card with this more advanced RAID controller. As you can see, this has a heatsink on it. It's got some memory chips. This is like an actual processor. It's got its own cache. Now what this does is, this is a PCI Express PCIe X8 or 8-lane card. It can take data really, really fast from the processor, but the drives might not be able to keep up with that data rate. So what this does is that this buffers that data and then writes it to the drives as the drives can accept it. And this just pops in like the old one did, right there. Now, there is something a little bit different about this one, though. The thing is, this RAM is battery backed. So if there is a total power failure of the system before all the data can be flushed to the disk drives, the battery will make sure that that data is not lost. And when the system boots back up, it will immediately write that data to the drives. Now, in order for that to work, it gets this little, just, basic battery right here, which is connected here. This is a brand new battery. The battery that was attached to the controller card when I bought it was no good, so I had to buy a new battery. Not surprising, though, as these cards are 15 years old, which means the battery was as well. 15 years old, is that right? Yeah. Crazy. And now I'll just reconnect everything. And there we go. The RAID controller is set up. The battery is in place and ready to go. I didn't have to do anything with a backplane over here. This is called a backplane because, first off, you can see it's a really thick, sturdy circuit board. And because it's what's at the back of the drive things. Alright, so what I need to do here is I need to first off unpack all these disk drives. Probably be easier if I had, it would be easier if I had a knife or a pair of scissors, but whatever. Now, what I like about these Kingston drives, now these are consumer grade drives, because, well, I can't afford server grade drives as they're easily 3 to 4 times as expensive as a consumer grade drive for the same capacity. And I've already been using some of these Kingston drives now for over a year in a couple of my servers, and they're working fine. They're not having any issues, so I figured I'd just stick with a drive I know that works. And these aren't that expensive either. This is a 480 gig. This ranges anywhere from $50 to $60. It's a SATA 3/SATA 2 drive. So it has pretty decent read-write speeds. The read and write speeds on this thing will actually bottleneck the SATA interface, so hey. And I got 4 of these, so I gotta open up all 4 of them. Amazon put these things on sale when I decided to go order them, so that was nice. Had a little trouble ordering 4 of them though, because they limited the purchase order to 3, but I found the way around it and I got all 4. I bought 4 drives because there's 4 drive bays. Hey, makes sense, right? So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these other drives from these hard drive caddies because I'm no longer going to be using them in this server. And I already backed up the data off of this drive so that I can transfer it to the new drive array. That way I don't have to start over with the servers themselves. I just have to reinstall the operating system. Now, these server blades are designed to use either SAS or SATA drive, so that's really cool. And you can purchase SAS SSDs in this form factor, but again, that's where that 3 to 4 times more expensive comes into play. And for my purposes, I really don't see it as being worth it. Make sure these are tight. Or snug at least. There we go. Boom, boom. Now you might be thinking, why do you need over 1 terabyte of data space just for the GeyserConnect? Well, I don't, but this machine runs other servers that will use the space, so yeah. It's just that the current machine that the GeyserConnect is on, the GeyserConnect is fighting for CPU and memory usage with other servers that are already running on that machine. You may have seen Greeper's MC servers on the GeyserConnect server list. Those servers are running on that same machine, and yeah, you really don't want anything but a Minecraft server running on a single machine. And I've got a lot of instances on that machine running at the same time, so they're competing for memory, competing for CPU usage, and I just want to offload some of that to another machine, and this is the easiest way to do it. Now, one thing that I really do like about these Kingston drives, that other drives I've had don't have, this housing on both sides all the way around is metal. So it's, the entire drive is a heatsink for the NAND, the flash that's inside of it, which is really good to extend the life and maintain the throughput of the drive, of the flash chips. And the way this server moves the air through, it pulls the air across the drives before it pushes it through the rest of the server. So these things will stay nice and cool. One more drive to go. Now, some of you may be thinking, hey, that looks like the top of a washroom appliance or something, like a washer or a dryer. And you'd be right, it's actually the top of my dryer. I have the servers in my laundry room because they are loud, especially when they decide to ramp up because there's something going on. In fact, let me go ahead and grab a power cable. Give you guys a taste of it. So, yeah. That's kind of annoying when you're trying to watch a movie or play a video game or something, so just put it on top of a shelf I got in the laundry room. A lot less annoying. Alright, so I got everything put together here. New memory installed, new drives installed. Got my Ubuntu install disk, which also has all the server data on it so that I can transfer it to the new system. And as far as the hardware side of things goes, that's it for this. The cover just goes back on like that, slides forward, and locks it shut. Alright guys, hope y'all enjoyed watching this boring, whatever you want to call it. Have a good one.